There's only one station in the D, local and loyal to the people.
WGPR Detroit, serving the African American community for over 50 years. Hot 107.5. Hot 107.5.
What up, though? I'm from the land of opportunity, the Motor City. D-Town, hold it down, so I gotta get it. Growing up, they always told me that the sky's the limit. I'm spacebound and flying out 1,000,000 miles a minute. From the west all the way to the east side. We all family, it don't matter where you reside. On the block, way more than the street signs. Tell me where you're from, go ahead and throw it up. From the Coney off Evergreen all the way to the Riverwalk. Mac and Bewick, let me see it. Avenue of Fashion, Belle Isle, get wild to the spirit. Detroit is us versus everybody. You don't really have a choice, but I do this for my sisters and my brothers that know the struggles holding it down for our single mothers and single fathers that just want to see us go farther. So we go harder and grow smarter. Cause
it's my smile, it's my pain. I just shine in the rain. When the odds stacking up, I get down in the mud. It's the spirit, it's the joy. You can tell from Detroit. I look around like I need town with me, and I stay so rooted in my city. Detroit for life.
It's the first Sunday of the month, and you know what that means? It's time for Detroit for Life, the radio show that allows you to tap into opportunities offered by the city, all because you live in Detroit. Welcome to Detroit for Life. Here are your hosts, Vicki Thomas and Dodie Johnson.
Well, good morning. Of course, you know what it is. It's Detroit for Life. That means it is the first Sunday of the month. We are with you, bringing you the great information regarding the city of Detroit. Going to hand it over to our host, Vicki Thomas. Vic, what's been going? You've been partying, Vic. I saw you.
Well, you know, I did a little something over the weekend. I checked out Ain't Too Proud to Beg at the Fox. That was a really great show. And then hung out with a friend who was in town. So it was a busy weekend, and we're wrapping it up with the Detroit for Life radio show. We've got a great show. We're going to be talking about early voting at our rec centers in Detroit. We're going to be talking about Halloween in the D. Also, Saturdays in the D. One of the sponsors is Ally. They're also here in town with Moguls in the Making, Dodie. And we also have Cassidy Conley. She'll be talking about how the administration is engaging Gen Z. So let's get right to it, Dodie. We've got Tony Stovall.
And this is amazing. Good morning, Tony. I said, I don't quite remember meeting her. I do know Tony Stovall,
her
the dad.
The other Tony.
And when she turned around and smiled, I said, oh, yeah, that's her.
And so,
I'm glad to follow in his footsteps.
Yes, and Tony is the volunteer coordinator for the City of Detroit Department of Neighborhoods. And every year we are excited to kick off Halloween in the D. The preparations already underway. Yes. Tony, what do we have in store this year?
All the things, all the exciting things. So we are just so excited to have and bring Halloween in the D back again for the 7th year, and just really have a safe, fun Halloween experience for the families, the communities, and for the kids, and the kids at heart. So we're so excited to do this. We've got every police precinct will be a trunk or treat site. So candy, just think about all the candy you can think of that'll be given out at every police precinct, as well as the fire engine houses will be hosting walk-up or trunk-or-treat sites as well. And so there's going to be a lot of fun there. We've got a haunted bus that'll pop up. The kids can take go through haunted tents. Even the police precincts will have haunted tents and haunted houses across the city. And then, of course, our rec centers. So we've got fire engine houses popping up at the rec centers, too. This fire engine houses and fire trucks. Kid can step into the boots of a firemen and just have so much fun. And then every rec center will be activated. And, we got the new rec centers. So we're so excited to collaborate with, GSD and Parks and Rec with that.
And we give out so much candy every year. How much?
Over 1 million pieces.
That's
of
amazing.
candy.
Great.
When people were like, when we say that, and we're like, we literally count, the candy comes in, and we are counting it down to the piece.
So do you have flyers for dentists when you get out that candy? Because that would be a good marketing tool for dentists.
No, get your health. Make sure you got your healthcare plans together. Those dental plans. Yeah. So it's a ton of fun, and with that, outside of gauging our residents, we engage our small businesses too, and our partners are amazing that support us and the work that they do. They volunteer to candy pack too, so we got to thank our sponsors and the amazing work that they do and in supporting us to give this back to the community, and our small businesses that are the ones that have been here along the way, and they partner with us as well.
And some of those businesses donate the candy too.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely, and come out and are going to do some fun stuff at the rec centers, from hot cider to pizza, so it's going to be fun.
And you know what, Tony, the administration is engaged, the city is engaged, all of our departments compete for these awards. I think we were robbed last year in the mayor's office.
Yep.
Our theme last year was superheroes.
And
we
y'all
had
killed
Storm, we had Trisha Stein as Storm. I was one of the I forgot what I was, but I was superhero, yeah.
One of the Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe, that's right. The blue and the gold. Yeah, had my little headband and everything. I thought we should have won. So, what?
I would say, Luan came in with the win last year. She played on everybody's hearts with the Lions, so you couldn't get mad at her with the demo. The demo came.
Yeah,
but
Luan counts. I mean, everybody fights for this award. I think even Crystal Perkins, who will be on the show later this morning, they won it too, right?
GSD won Motor City Makeover this past year.
Okay.
So, because, they're busy doing, again, all the great stuff at Parks and Rec. So they don't really get into the competition, but they get an honorable mention, GSD and Parks and Recs, because they're hosting, let's say, 12 parties across the city with Rec.
So for those people who don't know what GSD is, our listeners may not know.
General Services Department, and within that, Parks and Recreation.
Right. And so talk about the kickoff press conference. It's coming up.
It's coming up at Adams Butzel on Thursday, October 10th at 1 p.m. So we're going to have our partners come out and speak, residents really that are going to come out and speak and talk about the fun that we're going to be having this year, and just looking forward to all of the excitement. So, we want to have people just come out and support these things. And again, this is on Halloween, October 31st, where you could take place in Halloween in the D.
And the Dons, we got to give a shout out to the Dons, man. You guys really rock it out. You're out there in the community, very engaged. So talk about what you get out of this.
For me, community is the thing that has carried me through my career. So anytime, and being a part of the Department of Neighborhoods is that. So we are really focused on getting out, helping the residents. The district managers do a great job of doing that. Our leadership under Ray Solomon and Aaron Harris, they really just push us to make sure we're out there being involved with the community, that they know what's going on in the city and the opportunities that are a part of the city. So although this is a fun time that we have with the community, we're also making sure they know and staying engaged that we are there. So it's just going to be a fun day. So,
all right.
All day.
And then just watching the community come out, it's amazing. Yes. I mean, the kids are in costume, some of the adults, and some of those adults, Tony, they come back through the line a couple of times for candy, so they're just as excited as the kids.
As I say, it's for the
kids. Didn't I just see you?
Yeah, it's for the kids and the kids at heart. We all like to have a little fun. Halloween is a fun time for me. I love my scary movies, so Halloween actually is like one of my favorite scary movies. Michael Myers is like, he's a character. So yeah, the lines
scary.
are long.
I'm scared of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., like when the last light goes, the lines are moving, but it's fun. So we'll have a ton of just things to keep you entertained while you're waiting to get your candy.
All right. Yeah. Tony Stovall, thank you so much for being here. Saturdays in the D coming up. And we're going to move on to our next discussion. We have another great lady here from the administration, Malia Howard. She's the Director of Community Relations in the Mayor's Office. And also joining joining Malia is Natalie Brown. She's the Senior Director of Corporate Social Responsibility with Ally. And you just happened to be in town, and you were so gracious, to give up part of your Sunday morning to be here with us to talk about why Ally supports Saturdays in the D. So tell us why you all support it.
Well, first of all, we're, this is our headquarters. This is one of our two hometowns. To be here in Detroit and to be here this weekend was, and we talked earlier this week, has been just amazing. I love coming to Detroit. Always taking the gems back to North Carolina that we're seeing up here in the city. And so as a part of Saturdays in D, in talking to Malia, we realized that this program had gone away. We focus on economic mobility in 3 distinct areas of affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development. So what better way to provide workforce development opportunities to the residents of Detroit than through Saturdays in the D? The technology courses, the financial education that allows economic mobility to happen when people have access to jobs, when they can skill up in the jobs that they have, when they have the financial education, when they do skill up, and how to manage those dollars, right? And also, we recognize the fact that it will also help generations, right? It's generational wealth that we want to build in our Black and brown communities. And so when we're investing in the community this way, we're breaking cycles of poverty. We're giving folks the opportunity to get the skills they need for the next 20 to 30 years. Technology is one of those things, right? AI and cybersecurity, all those things are so important that it's not going away, so we might as well embrace it.
Right.
Train people to do it, and those are skills that can go across any industry. So we're proud to be the sponsor of Saturdays in the D. We're proud to get our teammates that are here in Detroit to come out and give sweat equity as well as the financial treasures that we're providing to the city.
And Malia Howard, puts her heart and soul into Saturdays in the D. I mean, she is a walking Saturdays in the D billboard. And so talk about Saturdays in the D and what we have coming up this fall for adult learners.
Oh, absolutely. So again, always thank you, Natalie and Ally Financial, for all their support. They are our initial sponsors and our continuing sponsors for this fabulous program. Without their support, none of this would be free to Detroiters. So in our partnership with the University of Michigan in the new building that's called the UMCI, the U of M Center for Innovation, that'll be here in Detroit, Saturdays in the D, in its original inception, was a program created by Jimmy Settles while he was at UAW Ford. And it was really to teach kids how to swim. And so it grew into tutoring.
It evolved into what it is today,
and
really.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
From 2013, teaching kids how to swim. When I started with the city in 2019, Mr. Settles was the director of the Department of Neighborhoods. He was the group executive. And so he and I looked at each other, and that's when we started the U of M project. And I said, this would be fabulous to be a part as a complement to this facility because Mayor wanted 10 kids camps to come to Detroit. And so 2023, we started. We had 5 kids camps. They were all housed at U of M because of just the logistics and turnaround. We had the Wise Guys camps, which are all the Python and technology camps. And we had... oh my gosh, we had another camp too that was focused on, oh my goodness, it was, anyways, logistics. But here we go. As we move forward, this year we had 20 camps.
20
camps. 15 were down here, 5 were in Ann Arbor. Galaxy Girls, that's what it is.
Yes.
Sorry, I love Galaxy Girls. So those camps, really, we impacted and had over 240 kids this summer who were able to participate. Last year when we started Saturdays in the D, this particular iteration of it, we only had 53 kids. This year, 240 plus.
Wow.
We provided transportation. We got kids up to and from Ann Arbor for those camps. We provided transportation to the kids as they went on camps around the city. We actually had a camp called River Stories Labs where the kids every day went out onto one of the flotillas, one of the old ships, and toured the river and went to different cities along the Detroit River to learn about the impact of those cities and how the river helps sustain them. But the real deal about Saturdays in the D, for me, is the Adult Learner Program. that program is by and far the only program, literally, we are the only program in the country where the city and a major university have partnered to provide free educational opportunities to its residents. And so through the University of Michigan's online program, it's they call them MOOCs, but it's the Coursera platform. U of M is the largest content creator on the Coursera platform. And so this year we offered 5 courses, but we did it in 2 sections, right? We had a morning session and an afternoon session. People were actually able to get multiple certificates. So if you went to Python in the morning, you could go to Successful Negotiations in the afternoon. And we have U of M professors coming down here to Detroit every Saturday to teach our adult learners. And so that's what makes it dynamic, right? And so people are getting certificates in learning and being able to not just upskill, right, or get back into the job force, but really being able to execute on whatever delayed dreams they might have had. And so it's critical. It's really critical. And so like with Python is 6 courses.
Explain what Python is for those that don't know. Yeah.
Python is a coding language that is currently being used in all types of programming and in AI. And so those types of skills will be taught at the UMCI.
For free.
For free. But the UMCI is a graduate school, right? The University of Michigan Center for Innovation is a graduate school. So this program with Saturdays in the D feeds the community provides accessibility, complete wraparound services, complete involvement into what U of M is doing in the city for our residents. And so it's just critical that we continue this program and keep moving forward. I mean, we had intro to project management. We're about to start doing a project management program. So people will start to get the PMP from us, right? So they'll be able to get that. That certification is critical in today's society. And so we're going to start paying for that and offering that. We had AI and Chat GPT workshops.
I should have taken that one.
Right? So one was an intro to AI, and it's all from Nexus, the Nexus program up at U of M. Learning how to use Chat, my mom went to it, learning how to use Chat GPT. But then the second course was how to find a job using AI and Chat GPT and honing your resume. We even did free headshots this summer. So if people needed a headshot for their resume or for whatever they needed it, we offered it for free. We have laptops that we can loan out to people so that they can complete their courses. So we really are trying to make sure that everything that you need to be successful, we've got you. So between Ally and Ally did, oh my gosh, the Ally mentors, the financial literacy, the homeowner workshop, like really preparing you on how to get a home. I sat in that class and I was completely astounded by what you need to do for your credit to have home ownership. So all of that is like this holistic little bubble that we do every Saturday. And so this year, we tried to do what we want to get people like on normal college cadence. So we had summer classes, now we got fall. And then we'll have winter. And then you're back into summer. We might do spring. And then we'll be sprinkling in workshops all along to provide people with the help that they need.
And so it focuses on the young people during the summer, the kids during the summer?
Kids are strictly during the summer. So as soon as school gets out, literally June 10th, we're running on a camp, right? And then kids, we even had a physics in the D camp down here this summer, and that was completely fun, right? So they had like 40 kids in there literally learning about physics. And so all of that stuff really matters. And so kids are strictly summer, but adults, we're going to start going year round to get people on a cadence. So like I was saying, the Python coding class, in order to get full certification from the University of Michigan, it's 6 classes. And so now with the cohort we're about to start, people are going to be on their 3rd class. And so people at the end of this, or in a couple months, will actually have a certificate that they can use to go to LinkedIn, to go to Google, to get an entry-level job. And that's what's critical.
Yeah, and let me just add, when folks are getting these type of certifications, this is a significant increase in their salary. There are coders that are making $80,000, $100,000 a year. So you're talking about folks who may have, be making on the lower income side, that now with a certification, investing a little time, coming to Saturdays in the D, participating in learning something new, can double their salary. Wow. The economic mobility that can happen in your family in the neighborhoods is just it's immeasurable, right? And the fact, as you mentioned, people living out dreams they may have had but didn't have a pathway to success to do that. And so that was another piece why Ally was like, you don't have to tell us twice. This is something that we certainly believe in and want to be a part of. Our tech team, we have an initiative on bridging the digital divide. And so the opportunity to have black and brown folks understand that there is a digital divide, right? And now with AI, it's even going to, exasperate that divide. And so we need to make sure that our communities understand AI is Netflix. AI is your smartphone, right? But understand how that impacts you as an individual every day, especially our more senior individuals, like my own mother, who I'm like, ma'am, you can't share. That's AI, then. So just so that they understand, and there's the safety around that as well. And so our volunteers are just jumping at the bits. We can't get enough. We have more volunteers than we probably have spots for them for Saturdays in the D because they really want to rally around this effort.
Yep, and that's real. So
and it's great information, and you touched on a lot of things, and I've stuck on one thing. So what's the criteria for people to get involved in these programs? Are great, and I know you said kids in the summer, then you were saying something about adults, someone was mentioning their mother. What are the basic criteria, and when are the times? Like I know in college there's semesters, but for this, when are the times that people can enroll?
Literally, you just this is only open to Detroit. Oh, we have Hamilton and Highland Park too, because they're in
that's Detroit. It's Detroit.
But they're in Detroit.
Right.
But this is a Detroit project. This is a Detroit program. So residents and kids who live in this city get this opportunity for free. And so for summer, the summer camps are for kids. They go from June all the way to the middle of August. So that's when Michigan runs their camps. So that's when that happens. So kids start signing up in like May is when we do registration for those camps. And those camps the registration actually takes place through the Michigan portals because that's who's running the camps. But for Saturdays in the D, for the adult programs, because we've morphed the model, it seems like every time we look up, we kind of want to try something different to see what works best. So this year, we did a summer cohort, which literally went from July to the middle of August, right? From July to August. Usually we start after the 4th of July, and then we run to the middle of August. And then we have our little quick break so we can gather. And then we start, this year we're starting fall. So fall classes start October 19th. They'll go to the end of November. We'll have a December break. January classes, we start up probably the second week in January. So we're still finalizing January. And then we'll run into the end of February, beginning of March. And then we'll start again. And so it's just an evolving mechanism because the summertime we've got more time or more capacity, I should say that, with space. And so last year we offered 4 classes. This year we offered 5 classes. And so people, because of how we staggered the starts for morning classes and afternoon, I've got people who've got certificates in multiple programs. And that was a benefit to them. And people literally committed to sitting with us from 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. And they hung out, and it was fun. And we do them in cohorts because, and just to say, we had 12 learners return from last year to come this year. But we do it in cohorts because it's bonding. It's family bonding. So cohort number 1, some of them came back for cohort number 2 to introduce these people into what this family is for Saturdays in the D. And it just continues to grow. And so now I know for a fact we have quite a few, because I marketed to them, returning citizens, because that was critical, right? So we have returning citizens who'll be coming to the fall courses. And so we really are just trying to make sure we include all of our residents. We've had senior citizens. I had a mom and a daughter duo last year, and I had a
I was going to mention that.
Grandson duo last year, right? And he took the summer classes, and she was in our adult classes. And so that's the real reason behind Saturdays in the D, because if my mom can take Python and I'm taking Python, she's now more vested in what I'm trying to learn. If I want to do robotics, but my mom has no understanding of that, my mom can take some basic classes to get her to better understand what it is and where I'm trying to go with my life. That's going to help this family be vested in this child's vision, right? And then mom or grandma or auntie can also better themselves and upskill or re-enter the job market, right? Because now they've got these new skills that can pay more money. You know, they can get more money from a job. So that's what matters. And that's how we lift our boats in the city.
And how can people, Malia, find out about Saturdays in the D?
Oh, we're on TikTok. We are on Facebook and Instagram, all Saturdays in the D. If you go to the City of Detroit's website or just Google SaturdaysInTheD.org. If you are on the City of Detroit's website, go to the Department of Neighborhoods page, the DONS page, and you'll be able to see our little link down at the bottom. But SaturdaysInTheD.org.
All right, and as I mentioned earlier, Natalie is in town because Moguls in the Making.
Oh, yes.
It's back in Detroit. Tell us about it. You guys have been here since earlier this week, and then you wrap up with the pitch competition today.
Absolutely. I've been here since Monday. My family's like, are you coming back? And I'm like, maybe. We're having fun in Detroit. Again, another continuation of our investment in workforce development. So Moguls in the Making is an entrepreneur pitch competition that we do with HBCU students. And that these students we have 50 students across 10 HBCUs across the country, from Philander Smith College to North Carolina A&T to FAMU to Howard to Hampton, and many more. I see some shouts out in a bit. I'm an Aggie, so Aggie pride to my Detroit Aggies. And these students come in, they are charged with building a business plan around economic mobility. So they get an industry, automotive, energy, health, transportation, government, and they've got to build a business plan that's going to support economic mobility for the city of Detroit through the lens of social equity. And so they come in, we give them a tour of Detroit through the City Institute. So shout out to the City Institute and Jeanette and her team for taking us around the city and showing our students the great neighborhoods that Detroit has, all the innovation and creativity. We know Detroit is known for its grit and its innovation and its entrepreneurship, so our students are inspired before they even come into the building at the Icon and to do the pitch. And then also our students get aligned with ally mentors and industry mentors. So we have representatives across all 10 industries, people who are working in those industries, from folks from the City of Detroit, Ford, Detroit Public Schools Foundation. I mean, so many companies that are coming in, these individuals who are expert in what they do, that are lending and giving advice to our student teams so that they have a better and well-rounded presentation. And so what do these students get? There's always the question that I get asked.
Right.
Our students get first place $20,000 per student.
Wow.
5 students on a team.
Is it too late to join?
Yeah, right. My daughter's a freshman at A&T. She's like, can I do it? And I'm like, no, ma'am. We'll find you something else if you can't do that. Second place is $10,000. Third place is $5,000, and then all the rest of the students get $1,000. And these are all scholarships.
Just for participating.
Just for participating. We fly them up. We take care of all their expenses. And then our first place team also gets guaranteed internships, and we've created an experience for them with our partners at Revolt, where they will fly to Atlanta and have an experience to sit around a board table with entrepreneurs and celebrity influencers that can really talk and get deep in the conversation about entrepreneurism. We have, when you ask the students about how many of you own your own business, at least a quarter of them raise their hands, right? So some of them, we have someone who has a fashion company that he's standing up. A young lady is standing up a Christian motivational company that she's going to do. So we have the innovation and creativity. And I got the pleasure to hear some of in their practice yesterday, some of their pitches, and I was blown away. The average GPA of our students is 3.7.
Wow.
And as you all may know, with HBCUs, more than half of these HBCUs are students that are first-generation college students. And so, we're happy to then, again, changing generations of in their families. And we also have, which I'm always proud, is 9 Detroiters.
Yes.
We have 9 students from this region, went to Cass Tech. Somebody went to Renaissance, Detroit School of the Arts. I mean, these students from Detroit, they're hyped, they're excited to show off their city to their fellow moguls, and they're ready. We hyped them up this morning. We had the Lieutenant Governor, Garland Gilchrist, came this morning and gave them some motivational speaking and motivational talk. We've had the mayor. We had Representative Joe Tate as well. So they've really been inspired and been motivated by some of the leaders in the city And so they're excited. They're ready. They're ready to go later this afternoon.
How many different pitches will there be?
There'll be 10.
10 pitches.
Our judges, I have to talk about our judges because we have an all-star team. We have our Chief Diversity Officer at Ally, Reggie Willis, our Chief Compliance Officer, Dan Soto, at Ally. They're both out of our Charlotte market. But then we have Alicia Jeffries with the Detroit Pistons. She's the Chief Marketing Officer there. And Tamara Chapman with the owner and founder of Storehouse in a Box. And so we're excited to have entrepreneurs, business leaders, all on that panel that who also have a array of experience beyond just what they do today. And so we're excited to have these judges, and then our instructors are just amazing. They're learning about business model. They're learning Canva. They're learning how to pitch 101. They're getting financial education from my colleague Jack Howard, who has created this phenomenal Money Roots program. And so
shout out to
Jay Howard, who hired me at Ally. Right, I love Jack. And so all the things and the things that our Ally employees, our mentors, our industry mentors are pouring into these students is something that will last. And then once they come out of Moguls, they become Mogul made. Right? We have this year, we'll give out over 1 million in scholarships since we've been doing this program for the last 6 years. Over 300 students would have been in this program. At Ally specifically, we've hired about 46 students. 16 of them have been 46 internships and about 16 full-time employees.
That's nice.
And we've seen the power of what this does with economic mobility. 4 of our students back in 2019 when we launched this program came and interned with us and it helped us to create a middle school curriculum around financial education called Fintropolis. It's a Minecraft game. Today, 4.6 million downloads, both on the retail and education version of that game is being played across the country. Right, this is something we did for free, right? But this was their baby, their concept. They came up with this, and so we're excited that we're able to have and show our moguls that this is what innovation is. You can do it in a company, or you can do it as an entrepreneur, or you can do it as an entrepreneur, and bring that kind of ideas and that creativity to the company that you work for.
Well, that's amazing. I just want to commend you for that, because it sounds like
baby,
that.
You know that.
Yes, it's making a huge difference. And too late for people who might be listening now to participate this year, but how can they find out more about Moguls in the Making?
Absolutely. Well, to learn more about that and to see some videos of the things we've done at ally.com/moguls. You can find our Moguls in the Making page. We start recruiting on HBCU campuses in the first part of the year, sometimes around the February-March timeframe. It's open to all HBCUs. We do this program in collaboration with the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. They're the best in the business when it comes to innovation and entrepreneurship programs. And between our two companies, we go out, we recruit these students, both public and private HBCUs. So if you have a student, or if you're listening as a student and you are a rising sophomore to senior, and you are eligible to go and be a part of Moguls next year, and we're excited that we're going to continue this program, continue to provide these opportunities to students. We want to make sure that when they get out of college, that they have the tools and resources they need to be successful. And if they intern with us, they get another $2,500. So,
there's an incentive.
There's some incentive, right? But if they don't, it's fine. I keep in touch with our mentors. We have a mentor that's in news in Tennessee. Some that work for tech companies like Microsoft and other banks. And so we're excited to see them thrive. That's what this is about for us. This isn't just about coming to work for Ally. This is about being at your best and doing what you want to do in your life.
And Natalie, I know you could go on and on and on.
Sorry.
You could take up the whole show. Your passion definitely comes through. And Malia, Saturdays in the D, I mean, a great job. And I know you're going to continue to grow that program. Thank you both for being here today. We're going to take a quick break and pick up with our next half of the show. You are listening to Detroit for Life on Hot 107.5 WGPR.
being unemployed, being a burden. Project Clean Slate helped wipe those things away. I am now able to work for a reputable airline. Detroit had my back, all because I live in Detroit.
We're helping Detroiters like Stephen get a fresh start through Project Clean Slate, a free expungement program for Detroit residents. Project Clean Slate. Reclaim your life. Visit DetroitMI.gov/Detroit for Life.
Has your criminal record held you back? Are you in need of a fresh start in life? Detroit has your back. Project Clean Slate is a free expungement program for Detroit residents. Sign up today at DetroitMI.gov/Detroit for Life or call 313-237-3024.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
All right, welcome back to Detroit for Life here on Hot 107.5 WGPR. And we have in studio Miss Crystal Perkins. She is the Director of General Services for the City of Detroit, and she is talking everything early voting. So tell us what we have in store this year for early voting, Crystal.
Yes, Vicki, thanks for having me on the show to help promote and get the word out for early voting. This will be our second opportunity to early vote. Back in November of 2022, voters approved in-person voting. So it's a little different than absentee voting in person. In-person voting is just like you would do on November 5th or any other designated election day. You're going to your you can go to any early voting center in the city, and you will get an actual ballot that you will complete and put in the tabulator as you would do on November 5th. Any registered voter in Michigan can vote early, and what I like to say, it gives voters an opportunity to kind of choose their date, right? It starts October 19th. And it goes until November 3rd, the Sunday before Election Day. We have 14 early voting locations. 6 of them are in our recreation centers. So we have Howman Recreation, Butzel Family, Northwest Activity Center, Kimney Recreation Center, Farwell Recreation Center, and Adams Butzel Recreation Complex. We also have 2 locations in our parks, Palmer Park and Clark Park, 2 locations at Wayne County Community College District. the location that's on Otter Drive in Southfield, and then the one on Connor. And then we also have 2 churches that have partnered with us to also do early voting. It's conveniently open Monday through Sunday, so 7 days a week, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
So you can actually vote any day of the week, starting on October 19th.
Correct.
At any of those locations.
Correct.
Now, let me ask you this, because I think a lot of people, it came up in one of our meetings, they can vote at any one of these locations. They don't have to vote at their polling place. They can vote at any rec center, Wayne County Community College, those 2 locations. And then the church.
The church, Greater Grace Church, that's on 7 Mile. Your Telegraph, you can also vote there too. In July, we were at Greater Grace. We did community events at all of the locations to bring awareness, which we will be engaging this year as well. We will have giveaways. We have our 2 major events in October. We have Scare Fest, which is October 26th at Palmer Park. Although voting is until 5 p.m., the event, usually people line up well before the event starts.
That's a popular event.
Yes, it's popular. The event starts at 5 p.m. Voting closes at 5, so we encourage people to get there early. If you get there early, you get in line, and you want to step out of line to vote, we will hold your place. So we have, I don't know if you know in the theaters how they have seat fillers.
Yes.
We have line fillers. We have someone to hold your
it.
place in line while you have an opportunity to go to the community center at Palmer Park and vote. We're also having voting at our Fall Fest, which is November 2nd, which will be at Farwell Recreation Center. And, people will come out. That event is from 1 to 5. So voting will be available and open throughout the entire event. And we ask people to come out not just to vote, but to cast your vote early so you won't forget, or you won't be bogged down on the 5th. You'll avoid the lines on the 5th and come out and vote early. But then you can bring your whole family. Usually when I go vote, I take my children so they can experience that with me. But we're voting at one of our...
Scare Fest or Fall Fest?
Well, in the past, it's been at one of our polling places. So this year, you can bring your family out. They can have fun, and you can vote for a good cause, too.
Right. And how important is it, we put so much time and energy in holding these hiring poll workers. And as we know, our ancestors died for us to have this right to vote. So talk about the importance of, just giving people the opportunity to fit it into their schedule.
Absolutely.
No excuses, basically, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely, Vicki. It's very important to vote. At one point, there was so much restrictions on voting. One point in this country, not just us as African Americans weren't allowed to vote, but women in general weren't allowed to vote.
Right.
Absolutely. And the people that came before us fought very hard for this right. And I would hate to see us squander this right. I really, really want the next generation, the younger generation, to understand the importance of voting, which is why we want to make it convenient for them. Like you said, no excuses. Get to the polls, get to the rec centers, get to the churches, get to the schools and vote. We have made it so convenient. We have locations throughout the Metro Detroit area.
Right. And, Dodie, we were just talking about just the duty to vote. It's a right. It's a duty, I believe, given the sacrifices that have been made for us to have the right to vote. And Crystal's laid out like all the different locations. You can vote early, starting October 19th. And the locations again, Crystal?
Sure. Start October 19th through November 3rd, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There are the rec centers, Howman Recreation Center, Butzel Family Center, Northwest Activity Center, Kimney Recreation Center, Farwell Recreation Center, Adams Butzel Recreation Complex, in addition to Palmer Park, Clark Park, which is over in Southwest Detroit, in addition to the Wayne County Community College districts, the West location and the East location. So out of Drive in Southfield and over at Connor. And then we have the churches, one's west, both are west, that you can go and vote at. And so we make it very convenient. And I know Tony was here from the Department of Neighborhoods to talk about our Halloween in the D. Again, we'll have voting at our Scare Fest and Fall Fest. And we'll have rides, face paintings, inflatables, candy giveaways, costume giveaways, pumpkin painting and things like that. But also on Halloween in the D, you can vote at all of our rec centers that's mentioned on this list. So you can bring your kids out, they can see you vote, they can participate in voting, and you can do a great thing.
You know what I love about that? It's a celebration and voting
for the whole family.
Yes, for the whole family, and celebrating that right to vote and celebrating the season too. So we were talking about the importance, Dodie, of voting.
And you know, that's the thing. How it has been made extremely convenient.
Yes.
You know, it is not something you got to plan for, to stand in line all day. It is, what do we do to ignite our citizens and just emphasize the importance of, we don't care which way you go.
Right, we don't care who you vote for, but
the right has been paid for.
Absolutely. I think that with events like this, making it convenient with the early voting, because this is the first year we were able to actually early vote in person. And I think getting the word out, again, we're in a generation now, everything needs to happen fast for everybody, right? When the President Obama first run, there were lines. I think if we had this opportunity back then, we may have seen more people come out. However, we have this now, so we don't have to wait in lines. We don't have to take off work on that Tuesday because we can do it.
It was a planned day off, actually.
Absolutely. So now we can do it on the weekends or any day of the week. You can go in to vote, and we have locations all across Detroit. I think that reaching this next generation through social media, through fun games, like we're partnered with, the rec centers, the Dons, to make sure we make it a family event.
In those events, right.
And continue to pass that message down to the next generation.
And how can people find out more about all of the events and early voting?
Oh, great. On our website with the City of Detroit, so it's detroitmi.gov/GSD or Parks and Recs. We have all the information on our website. We have everything on our social media handles, City of Detroit Parks and Recs, City of Detroit General Services on Instagram, Facebook, and we'll put it on our LinkedIn as well.
Crystal, thank you so much for all that you do and for taking time out of your Sunday and missing church to be here with us. We appreciate it. Crystal Perkins, Director of GSD, thanks for being on Detroit for Life. Our next guest, this young lady is so dynamic. I mean, she just blows me away.
Just adorable.
Yeah, and she is. I like to tell people she's a beauty queen. She's a brainiac. She's a social media influencer. She's everything. Cassidy Conley. Cassidy, first of all, before I tell people what you do now, tell people about your experience as an intern in the mayor's office and how you got that opportunity.
Absolutely. So, first, my experience in the mayor's office has been phenomenal. I mean, I still wake up excited to go to work, and it's been almost 2 years. I've even encouraged young people to join the fellowships through the summer. But I got this opportunity because I was fortunate enough to be a part of a program called Figure Skating in Detroit. And they brought me to an event that was special. It was where we met Scott Hamilton, who is an Olympic figure skater.
Right.
And coincidentally, the mayor's wife was receiving an award that night, and I saw the mayor. And I've been following him since I was 8 years old. Since he got in office, I've been watching and admiring him. So I knew I had to say something. I walked over and just told him about my passion in politics and what I wanted to do with my life. And he was, I guess, impressed and was like, you know what? I got a job for you. And here I am.
Let me say this. This is off subject, but it's relevant. That man is phenomenal with children.
He is.
They
Oh,
just,
phenomenal.
kids, little kids, and young people, they just gravitate. They are in awe with him.
Remember the little
We have the
girl
pictures to
picked out?
prove it.
Right.
They love him. He is he's very endearing to them, and he gets right down eye level where they feel very comfortable and engaged. But go ahead.
But we had Dodie had set it up. This was Marshall Mathers Foundation, a Coke giveaway, and
Again
the
this
mayor
year.
and the mayor was a personal shopper, and I picked out this little girl. She was like the perfect little girl. And I mean, she saw the mayor and she ran and jumped up in his arms.
That's so cute.
And so he helped her pick out a pretty little pink coat. It was just the cutest thing. Yeah. Kids do love him. They really do.
Young people are they just are fascinated with him, and he does a good job. He really does.
And so, what kind of things did you do, Cassidy, during your internship in the mayor's office?
Everything from community relations. I worked with Malia a lot. I worked assisting the city council liaison, doing theater reports, which I loved learning about city council. I helped out with social media, running the mayor's social media personally. So I got to follow him around at different press conferences.
And she's a whiz on social media. Her and her brother, who's an intern in the mayor's office, they keep us young. They put us on
Always.
TikTok.
I will force somebody to do a TikTok in a heartbeat. It's so fun.
So you keep them relevant, right?
Yes.
So you keep them relevant. Okay.
Yeah, I'm always talking about TikTok trends that are relevant and like connecting with Gen Z, and it's just so funny to hear them adapt and like the difference between our generations because of our little languages.
Yeah, the little dances
slang.
that she makes us do.
Yeah.
The TikTok dances. I
so
love
funny.
Cassidy. So now, Cassidy, when I met you, when you came into the mayor's office, you were being homeschooled.
Yes.
And now she is, you are a sophomore, right?
Yeah, so
At Wayne State University. Tell them what your major is.
So I'm pursuing a concurrent degree in political science and law, and with a minor in communications and journalism.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It says a lot for homeschooling, too, though. I mean, real talk.
Oh, shout out to
Really?
my mom.
Yeah.
She put so much love and patience into our education, into us. So, and she had 5 children. So this was a lot of work, and honestly, I would be here.
They
in
devote
this-
their lives
No,
to
seriously.
the perfection of your education and your learning. Yeah,
And
they do.
I appreciate it.
She's a saint. I couldn't do
I heard
it.
some clapping. I love it. Some sound effects back there. Shout out to Mom. You got some standing ovation. So Cassidy has parlayed her internship into a position in the mayor's office as the Gen Z engagement director. So as a director now, tell me about how you're engaging or trying to get Gen Z engaged in local government.
So many ways. So my mission, I say it's a dual mission of retaining young talent and bridging the civic engagement divide. So with that, I'm coming up with different projects or events that will engage people into the local government to show that it's not as different. Like, you can't hate something that you're a part of. And I know growing up in this generation, we get a little resistant and wanted to stick it to the man. You know, I used to protest all the
Did she
time.
say stick it to the man?
Seriously.
Stick it to the man.
I would love protesting.
That is an old school saying.
She's an old soul.
I'm an old soul.
Stick it to the man.
I'm an old soul. But, yeah, I would protest for almost any reason. I don't even know why I'm out there, but I just feel like I'm empowered because I'm just marching. And then I realized there's not that big of a difference. Like, the government is here for us, and if we're just involved, you're a part of this. This is not a space that
It's
is-
our government,
our
really. It's our
yeah.
government. Right.
So that's my mission, to just include, to show that you can be included by, speaking in city council, public comment, or getting involved with, as I mentioned earlier, voting, how important that is. I also host frequent roundtables with the mayor and my generation, Gen Z, and to just discuss our perspectives of of issues in our communities. We hear a lot about transit and housing and stuff like that. And those conversations change the trajectory of how most young people perceive government. So it's very empowering. It's very empowering.
Yeah, and what do you get out of it? I mean, and you're just so dynamic. I mean, she's a figure skater. She's a beauty queen. Like I said, a brainiac. What do you get out of this?
Honestly, I just love it. That's what I get out of it. Pure love and appreciation. I think mostly what I get out of it is being able to learn and to learn from this, sitting in that same table or sitting even with the mayor. I learn a lot. So that's honestly what I get out of it. Long term, like hands-on education. For when I'm interested or ready to run for office one day, I'll be able to commit the same level of service.
I'll be on your campaign. I'll be your media strategist.
I'll be your campaign manager.
I love it.
You can't lose with the two of us.
I love it. I appreciate it.
And what are your plans moving forward?
So I would love to work for the city for as long as possible. And when the time is right, I will be committing to service as an elected official. Just, continuing that level of service and committing to Detroit and Michigan, like my home. I really feel like being a public servant is the most empowering thing you can ever do. It's literally changing lives, and that's what I've always loved about this. And
you're so right about that.
Yeah.
It's really a calling for people that really are in it for the right reason.
Yeah.
It's really a calling, and it makes you get up every day wanting to make a difference, for the community. And so the mayor's really smart because having someone director of Gen Z engagement is just a brilliant idea. Tell us about some of the issues that Gen Z really cares about from your participation in these meetings.
Sure. So the number one issue which I hear all the time is public transit. So that's something that I actually agree with and I've experienced myself. And I know that it's something that the administration is prioritizing and taking an interest in. But additionally, accessible housing, we want to be able to plant a family and live here long term. So having that affordable housing, which is also something the administration has prioritized with a new pilot program and stuff. So
it's like $1 billion of affordable housing over the next 5 years.
Yeah. So this is stuff that when the mayor is in these meetings, he's very interested in he's paying a lot of attention and being attentive, but then he also implements it in his policies long term. So they're not just to talk with young people. He's taking this stuff into consideration, and we've seen these issues start being addressed.
So thank you, Cassidy, for all that you do, and we are blessed to have you as part of the administration.
And absolutely, and we do know, here on Hot 107.5 WGPR, this show is becoming go-to appointment radio for the first Sunday of every month. But today we had something really phenomenal that happened.
Yes.
Our phones are blowing up from the moment you took the mic. There are a lot of people that are calling. Some young ladies have called in particular, and one young lady in particular said we need to clap it up.
Clap it up for Cassidy.
So let's do that.
Clap it up for the team, the administration, because I wouldn't be in this seat without them.
But your representation of a misunderstood segment of our population,
yes.
Gen Z, your representation is amazing today.
Yes.
It is.
Well, thank you, Cassidy, for giving up part of your Sunday, too. And Crystal, thanks again for being here. You have been listening to Detroit for Life here on Hot 107.5 WGPR. And Cassidy loves the Detroit for Life song. She knows the words.
Oh, yeah. Take us out with it.
It's the spirit.